In 1940, he deliberately entered Auschwitz. For 945 days, he built a resistance army within that hell and then escaped to warn the world. On September 19, 1940, Witold Pilecki was on a street in Warsaw during a Nazi raid, watching German soldiers push Polish men into trucks. Pilecki was a member of the Polish resistance. He had false documents. He could have simply turned his back and walked away. But he stepped forward and allowed himself to be captured. He knew exactly where he was being taken, Auschwitz. And that was the plan. Pilecki was 39 years old, a cavalry officer, a husband, and a father of two. When Germany invaded Poland in 1939, he immediately joined the resistance and founded one of the first clandestine units in Warsaw. Around 1940, grim rumors circulated about a new concentration camp near the city of Auschwitz. The Germans called it Auschwitz. Prisoners were disappearing inside. No information came out. The resistance needed to know what was happening there, how many were imprisoned, what the conditions were, and if there was a chance of organizing resistance. Pilecki volunteered for a mission that bordered on suicide, to be arrested and deliberately sent to Auschwitz. Inside the camp, he would gather information, create a network of resistance, and attempt to send reports to the outside world. His superiors asked if he understood what he was proposing. Auschwitz was not a prison, but a death factory. The chances of survival were minimal. Of escape, almost nil. Pilecki understood perfectly. He kissed his wife and children, not knowing if he would see them again. And he went to look for a Nazi raid. When he was arrested, under the false name of Tomasz Serafiński, the Germans had no idea that they had just captured a spy on a mission. He was taken away in cattle cars, days without water or food. Men died standing, crushed against each other. Upon arriving at Auschwitz, the SS guards shouted, beat with batons, and released dogs. The welcome was one of immediate dehumanization. Pilecki became prisoner number 4859. Shaved head. Striped uniform. Name erased. And then he began to work. For 945 days, Pilecki did the unthinkable. He created hope where there was only despair. He organized a clandestine network called Związek Organizacji Wojskowych, ZOW, the Union of Military Organizations. It started with a few men. 5 became 10. 10 became 50. Within 2 years, there were nearly 1,000 prisoners organized into secret cells. They stole food and medicine for the weaker ones, forged documents, sabotaged equipment, mapped the camp, and gathered information about the mass murders. And most importantly, they sent reports abroad. Through bribed guards and civilian contacts, Pilecki managed to get his reports to the resistance in Warsaw. And from there, to the Polish government in exile in London. These reports described, with devastating accuracy, the systematic executions, the gas chambers under construction, the medical experiments, the immediate extermination of Jews arriving by transport, and the alarming increase in the number of dead. Thanks to him, the world learned about Auschwitz as early as 1941. Pilecki asked the Allies to bomb the camp or the railways, but his appeals were ignored. They deemed it militarily unfeasible. The trains kept arriving. The cameras kept working. But Pilecki didn't stop. He continued writing, resisting, and surviving. In April 1943, after nearly 3 years in Auschwitz, Pilecki realized he needed to personally recount what he had seen. On the night of April 26, he and 2 companions managed to escape from an annex of the camp. They cut the barbed wire, ran through forests and rivers, fleeing from dogs and gunfire. Against all odds, they arrived alive in Warsaw. There, Pilecki wrote the Witold Report, more than 100 pages with a complete account of the camp. He pleaded with the Allies, bombard. Do something. Nothing was done. Pilecki was devastated. He had survived hell, denounced the horror, and the world remained silent. In 1944, he participated in the Warsaw Uprising, leading resistance fighters. He was captured again and sent to a prisoner of war camp. He survived. But when the war ended, Poland fell under Soviet rule. Pilecki, who had fought for freedom, refused to accept the new communist regime. He continued gathering information, now about the government's abuses. In 1947, he was arrested by the communist secret police, brutally tortured, and accused of espionage. On May 25, 1948, he was executed with a shot to the back of the head. He was 47 years old. His body was thrown into a mass grave. For decades, his name was erased from history. The man who deliberately entered Auschwitz was forgotten by his own country. Only after the fall of communism in 1989 did Pilecki's story come to light. His reports were republished. Historians have called him the bravest man of the Second World War. Witold Pilecki wasn't captured by chance, he chose to enter hell. He walked to Auschwitz with his eyes open because someone needed to bear witness, resist, and warn the world. Inside, he organized hope, maintained dignity, and proved that even in the darkest places of humanity, light can be born. Then he escaped. He continued fighting. And he died standing as he had lived. The present belongs to them. But the future I fought for, is mine. Remember his name, Witold Pilecki. The man who willingly went to hell and came out with the truth in his hands. Did you enjoy this type of video and content? Then thank you for leaving a like, comment, and share with your friends. Also, post the link to this video on your Facebook and Instagram story. Copy it to your WhatsApp status as well. This will encourage the revival of this channel and is totally free for you. Consider also subscribing to this channel. Thank you very much for your participation. God bless your life, in Christ Jesus.